So, today we're going to get into some hidden truths about generational curses. And in order to get towards these hidden truths about generational curses, we're going to go through the process of debunking some common untruths or misconceptions about generational curses. And getting into the truth of generational curses is something that we need to know because knowledge is power. And it is mainly through our own ignorance that curses and the dark entities responsible for carrying out these curses are actually able to exert power over us. Because it's hard to clear a curse that we don't even know is operating or how it is operating. Hello, beautiful people. It is Oshun Kimmy, your sage, your guru, your mystic, and your spiritual informant. And today we're going to uncover some hidden truths about generational curses. If you enjoy conversations about spirituality, magic, and mysticism, please do me the honor of subscribing to the channel and liking this video so that people who really need this information can find it. Okay, so let's dive right into some common untruths or misconceptions about generational curses. Many people think that simply because they did not know or associate with their ancestors, that generational curses cannot apply to them, or that if a curse was initiated a long time ago, it can have no effect on the present or the future. And this could not be further from the truth. And so here's what you need to know about how generational curses are passed along. And for one, we need to know that it does not matter whether we knew the ancestor or not, or whether we are even aware that there is a curse. They can still affect us. Generational curses are passed on through the DNA. And our DNA has, of course, a physical component, which we know. This is why we look like our ancestors. We may sound like them. We may have certain talents or skills or traits that are passed down through the blood. But our DNA also has a spiritual component as well. And so our spiritual DNA is how our ancestral gifts and talents come to us. It's how we inherit our spiritual gifts. All of this, everything that we are now, comes from our ancestors and our predecessors, which means that there is no us without them. Everything about us is inherited, point blank, period. Our DNA is the ancestral blueprint or code that tells us who we are, the gifts that we have, and the spirits that walk with us, both good and bad, both light and dark. I've talked about ancestral demons before on this channel and how there are demoniac forces and principalities that can attach and claim our lineage for generations, for centuries, which means that various people of your lineage, no matter how far apart they are born, can be born with the same demoniac forces attached to them that have been attached to previous members of your lineage. So let's say people in your family have a tendency towards addictions, terminal or chronic illnesses like diabetes or cancers, adultery, divorce, violence, jealousy, narcissism, any type of spiritual, mental, emotional, physical imbalance. This is a sign of a demonic ancestral attachment because demoniac forces rule over mental, emotional, and physical sickness or imbalance. So every spiritual gift that we have, every talent, every power, and even every bad habit, every dark tendency that we may have also is spiritually inherited. So a lot of the demons that we fight, a lot of the bad habits that we are working through, our ancestors also dealt and fought these same energies. Of course, we can also inherit spiritual gifts from past life experiences that we've had as well, because our spiritual gifts can carry over from lifetime to lifetime. And so this idea of previous lifetimes and reincarnation, which is that many people think that fighting generational curses is a process of cleaning up a mess that you did not make. But that is not wholly true. And here's why. Many spiritual systems, especially African and Asian spiritual systems, believe in the concept of reincarnation. And in African spiritual systems, like of the Congo and of Nigeria, for instance, there is a belief that about every 7 generations, a previous ancestor will reincarnate into the bloodline. And so this is why you will often hear African descended people say, oh, this child has been here before, or this child reminds me of my grandfather or of my father, and etc., because our spirits actually do recycle back into our bloodline. So we essentially literally are our ancestors. And so basically the idea is that if you were to look back into your lineage, you will essentially be able to find a previous incarnation of you. of yourself. So the things that we are healing are things that we need to heal as a lineage and as individuals. So it's not just that we are healing and cleaning up an ancestral mess for them. We're doing this for ourselves as well. And so another untruth that people may tell themselves about generational curses is that they didn't ask for this. They didn't ask to be a generational curse breaker. And I'm getting rid of that generational curse breaker word because we are generational healers, okay? So the truth is that actually, yes, we do agree to take on ancestral work before we incarnate, because every single person has to first create and agree to a soul contract before coming and manifesting on earth. So you may have forgotten your spiritual agreement as you begin to live a more earthly existence, but any person who is a generational healer is essentially spiritually contracted to fulfill this mission. If you want to know more about spiritual contracts, I have a video already on that as well, and so I'll link that into the description box of this video. Last untruth about generational curses I am going to discuss is the common misconception that when we are healing generational curses, we are doing it all by ourselves. And this is very untrue, right? Because generational healers are blessed with the absolute best gifts of their lineage, which means that there are ancestral spirits and powers within you and all around you who are always ready to assist you. So I know that agreeing to be a generational healer is a big mission. And so while we are on this journey of being a generational healer, we may feel very alone, spiritually and physically. And we may feel that we have to fix everything ourselves. And that is not true either. The ancestral healer's journey is a shared journey. You will have ancestors helping you on the other side. You will have spirit guides helping you. You will have destiny helpers helping you in the physical realm. And the work that you do is paving the way for generations after you, because someone else in your lineage, whether you birthed that child or not, will be assigned to pick up where you left off. So please never get caught up in the untruth that everything is on you as a generational healer. As we set positive healing examples for our youth and for our upcoming generations, they will naturally learn to continue our work. And we may also inspire some people who are not even younger than us. When we make changes, we can also inspire our elders. And so when we are generational healers, we kind of live by example. And as we live in our spiritual truth, that light touches our lineage, past, present, future. So whenever you feel discouraged, remember that you are doing this so that the young people who reincarnate into your lineage after you did do not have it as hard as you did. And so that when you perhaps reincarnate back into your lineage in a few generations, you are not dealing with the same things. You have changed your lineage through your healing work. And so if enough people are interested in a video on exactly how to break generational curses, then I'd of course be happy to share some content on that topic, because I myself am a generational healer and I know firsthand that this journey is no joke. It can be very spiritually challenging, so I know that we need all the help and guidance that we possibly could get. And so with that being said, if you like an ancestral reading or even a past life reading to see what types of ancestral attachments your lineage may have, whether there are generational or past life curses operating in your life, I invite you to schedule a one-on-one session with me. I of course would like to invite you as well to join a community of generational healers and light workers on the Patreon, where all this spiritual work really takes place. So there will be a link for the Patreon and readings in the comments below. I am wishing victory and empowerment upon every viewer of this video. Ashe.